There is a lot of misinformation on hand position when shooting a basketball, and I'm going to help you sort through what really matters. How a shooter positions their hand on the ball, especially at their set point, isn't a matter of comfort or theory or personal preference. It should be based on how the shooter's hand is built. Let's talk science for a second. If we want the basketball to go straight, we need to apply even force to both sides of the basketball. Like I talked about in my positive power video, if we apply more force to the right side of the basketball, the ball goes to the left. If we want the ball to go straight, we need to apply even force on both sides of the ball as we lift. In order to do this, we need to know the center of each player's grip so they can get that part of their hand underneath the middle of the ball at their set point. This is the first thing I do with each player I work with. I measure their hand to find the middle. Start by spreading out your shooting hand in a wide shooting grip. Then measure the distance from the tip of the index finger to the tip of the thumb. Compare that distance to the tip of the index finger and the tip of the pinky. If we spread our thumb wide, 90% of people will find those two distances to be exactly the same or very close. If you do too, you've just discovered the index finger is the middle of your grip. Therefore, we would like to get the index finger on the bottom of the ball at the set point. And as an NBA shooting coach, I focus way more on the position of the hand at the set point than I do on which finger the ball leaves last. There is so much variability in the way that the ball leaves the hand that it is really challenging to narrow the scope up there. But if we can focus our efforts on the set point, we give ourselves a realistic chance to be consistent, or consistent as possible. I would like the ball to come off the middle of the hand in a perfect world, but the shooting of a basketball is hardly a perfect world. It is a short, quick, violent motion that is hard to perfectly control. So why does it appear that most players have the ball coming off the middle finger when I say that for most players the index finger is the middle of their hand? Simple. We're all human, and we all have some negative energy when we shoot. And with most players, they don't get their hand fully underneath the ball at their set point, start off pushing the ball to the left, then as they lift the ball, their hand rotates underneath the basketball. They finish the shooting motion with their hand slightly on the left side of the ball, with the middle finger underneath the middle of the ball pushing slightly to the right. They're canceling out the initial force to the left with a final push to the right. And the more you do this, the more difficult it will be to be consistent. Do a little in each direction, like what happens with most great shooters, and you have a chance to be reasonably consistent. Do it a lot, like most youth players, and you'll struggle to be more consistent. Do it near perfectly, like a few players are able to do, and you have a chance to be a great shooter. It is also possible for the middle finger to become the middle of a shooter's grip. All they would need to do is narrow their thumb, and now the middle finger is the center of their grip. The problem is they've just made their hands smaller, and smaller hands don't control the ball as well. So make sure the shooter has their thumb wide to control the ball as best as possible. Now, like most things in shooting, there is no one answer for all people. One shooter may find that their thumb is a little bit longer or more flexible, and that the middle of their grip is actually in between the index finger and the middle finger. That's fine as long as their hand is wide and they know what the middle of their hand really is and work to get that underneath the middle of the ball. Don't rely on what is comfortable. What is comfortable now is only comfortable because the player has done it so many times. We can make a more efficient motion comfortable by doing it over and over again. So base your shot habits on how your body is actually built.